Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Spiritual Spotlight series. Today, I'm joined by Lisa Morton. She is the owner of Pure Living with Lisa Morton. She's a holistic interior designer. She is also a podcaster, and her podcast is Feng Shui Living Podcast. Lisa, thank you so much for coming on Spiritual Spotlight series. I'm so happy you're here.
Hi, Rachel. Thanks so much for having me.
We have no idea how this video or audio is going to be because Rachel is having technical problems, but that's okay. Lisa is a champ and she's ready to go.
Let's just
So,
make it fun.
make it fun. Make it fun. So, Lisa, can you tell us about your journey from being a traditional interior designer to incorporating holistic design and feng shui principles into your practice?
Wow. So I still kind of call myself an interior designer, just a
Nice.
holistic designer.
Yeah.
I've really done this for 20 years now.
Nice.
And I started my career doing the traditional path, right? Going into people's homes, doing commercial work. And then I ended up stumbling onto my dream job. So I got into designing private jet interiors.
Woo! Love that.
Traveling the world, like wild, outrageous materials you would never expect, right?
Yeah.
And meeting people and getting to go to unique places that I would never normally go to around the
Right,
world.
right.
And it was great fun, right? It was fantastic. I thought it was my dream job. And then it got to a point where um, I love to work. I love what I do,
Yeah.
but it was not a job that allowed me to find balance in my life,
Mm.
right? I could never buy a concert ticket and actually expect to go
She's like,
because
because
it
I'm
would
gone.
exactly. I mean, you'd be told like, go home, pack your bag, you're leaving this afternoon to go somewhere, right? So it was a lot. It was also just very high stress, high
Yeah.
pressure when you're dealing with, these big budget projects. And I joke that I wasn't equipped well enough. I mean, I don't know about you, but our family in the 80s, 90s didn't sit around the dining table talking about stress reduction technique, right?
Ma'am.
So
No,
here I am,
no.
I'm like, what's wrong with me? I don't know. I actually thought I had a heart condition.
Oh my goodness.
And I
Wow.
went to the doctor because
Yeah.
she's like, honey, I think you're struggling with anxiety. I'm like, who knew? I didn't even know what that was. And so I had to explore how to care for myself.
Yeah.
I then decided it was at a point that I was ready to leave that job and actually live my life. I'd recently gotten married and
I
wanted to
love
spend more
it.
time with my husband and everything. And then um, I actually got into Reiki
Nice.
and I became a Reiki master. I was like, wow, this energy in your body, how can I manipulate the energy in your home? And
Yeah.
then it was just from there, I really started studying holistic design, a holistic approach to design, right? And really getting into color psychology. And then I started studying feng shui back in 2014.
Hmm.
Um, I did some one-on-one training, received my first certification in 2014, my advanced in 2018, and then I became a master this summer. So,
Congratulations.
oh, thank you. I'm just so fulfilled by it. This work has transformed my life.
Yeah.
And I've been able to help so many people. And it's, there's still designer Lisa, but it's with a different set of eyes, right? Different set of
Yeah.
lenses now.
I love that. I love that. I appreciate that so much. My sister is an architectural interior designer, and the way that you and her, I'm imagining, approach a space is so different than somebody that doesn't have that background. And the fact that you layer in holistic healing and the feng shui.
Hmm.
Love it. So let me ask you this. I love it. I have such respect for it.
Oh,
It's such a people don't realize how important the energy of your space is and how
hmm.
things are set up and how you
Certainly.
feel, you know?
Yeah. I
So
always tell people it's
good.
all reciprocal, right?
Yeah.
You can like get your 10,000 steps in every day, but if your space is super cluttered, it's still not going to be balanced, and vice versa, right?
Yeah.
But they both need to, nobody needs to be perfect, but just work on balance of both.
So true. So true. So
Yeah.
what do you think are some common misconceptions that people have about feng shui and how do you address them? She's like, my best question. Just kidding. I bet a lot of people have misconceptions about it.
Well, I did a talk once, and I had a gentleman stand up in the back. I asked if there are any questions. And this guy thought he was being funny. He's like, and this was after my talk too. He's like, it's feng shui Chinese food. I thought it was Chinese food. I'm like, no, 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 whatever. But, it's, a lot of people think it's really woo and out there,
Mm,
right? Until I explain some of these things, I'm like, your body's just reacting to these things. Let's make
yeah,
it feel more comfortable. A lot of people think there's like religious aspects to it,
that's a
which
good
I
point.
love to bring in your own spirituality if you choose,
Hmm,
right? No
hmm.
matter what your beliefs are, we can implement different things. I also get people that think that they have to completely remodel and use like Asian decor. I'm like, no, no, no. Like, we'll use what you like, what makes you feel good.
It's a really, yeah, you're right. Because I actually have a money frog over there, and I thought I had to get one. Just kidding. I like it. It's on my money corner.
There you
Um,
go.
um, can you explain the concept of energy flow in a space and why it is so crucial to our well-being?
Yeah. So we need energy to flow, right? We want it to flow. And I always tell people, I always tell my clients, think of it as like this beautiful meandering river, right?
Mm.
We don't want the raging river like at the theme park, right? And we also don't want like a waterfall, like a really fast moving river. We want energy to flow throughout our space, right? And flow in all the areas so it doesn't get stagnant because
Mm.
that's where things get difficult when stuff gets stagnant.
Right.
I know now recently I've worked with a lot of people whose kids have gone off to college and they're closing up the rooms and the blinds are drawn and the doors never opened and like
Oh, wow.
moving energy throughout your space, right? Every
Yeah.
area, keep it moving because that affects the rest of the home.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so interesting. So, what are some, because you kind of just touched on this a minute ago,
Yeah.
what are maybe some simple feng shui adjustments that people can make in their homes today to improve their well-being?
Oh my gosh. Well, so I'll say my first one. Oh
Okay.
gosh, I have so many good ones.
I'm like,
Is it
give us a list.
well, well, that's what's nice is, when you want to dig deep into feng shui, you
Yeah.
need, you want significant change. You need to have your home evaluated
Okay.
because you live differently than your neighbor. Your goals are different. You may
Good
even have
point.
the same floor plan, but your goals, your plans, the way you go about your life, everything is different, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
while we have all these cool tips and tricks and fun things, you really want to go big, you need to look at your exact
Okay.
home, your plot of land, and everything. But
Sure.
there's so many great things to improve your home that you can easily do.
Yeah.
Number one is use the front door. Okay.
Yes.
The front door is the mouth of chi. So this is where all the energy comes in and then it flows throughout the home. So you want to get that door opening and closing and use it, right? Come up with some plan. I know so many of us use the garage, right?
We do.
Yeah.
I will say though, I shifted to the front door, so that's interesting. But please continue.
Well,
Only because our
so,
garage door broke.
oh, okay. Okay. Well, something interesting to think about. So use the front door, and I say come up with a reason. If you can't come up with something like
Yeah.
walk the dog every day in and out of the front door, go get the milk. Like I don't have an excuse, but I go to the front door, I open it up, I look out, look at the clouds, take a breath of fresh air, and close it every
I
morning.
love
I mean, it's
that.
not a big thing, but it's just kind of checking in
It's a
with nature.
ritual. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really beautiful to get that energy flowing. That's
Right.
really powerful. Um, and then the next thing is to love on the center of your home.
Okay.
So if you want to maybe dip your toe into feng shui and you're not sure and you don't, this whole Bagua map is overwhelming and everything, just love on the center of your home. Because so the Bagua map is this ancient tool that we use that shows the 9 different guas or energy
Hmm.
centers of your home. And the centermost gua or energy center connects to your health. But
Nice.
what's cool about that is it connects to every other energy center. So
Oh,
by default,
cool.
you're improving everything, every
Yeah.
area of your home if you just love on the center of your home. And that could be cleaning, tidying, making sure things function well, the light bulbs aren't burnt out.
Right.
Maybe you want to enhance it by bringing some fresh flowers.
I love that idea. Now, let me ask you this. Does the center of your home matter if it's upstairs or downstairs?
So I was focused first on the main floor,
Main floor?
right?
Okay.
That's our day to day.
Gotcha.
Lower levels connect to the subconscious. So it's always interesting to be mindful. Like if you're having trouble sleeping and
Yeah.
you have like a home workout space beneath your bedroom, that's something to note, right? What's down there and where. And then your upper
Interesting.
floor connects to, your goals, your dreams,
Right.
what, loftier ideas.
I love that. I'm thinking about the center of my house, and I think it's a hallway. Like,
Hey, that's okay. You know what? Years ago, we lived in a home and it was a pantry. I'm
oh,
like, well, what do I
cool.
do? Right? What
What
do you
did you
do?
do?
Well, we kept it really tidy, really clean. I kept it organized, kept really
Sure.
healthy foods in there. Also, you want to be aware of abundance, right? So if like the
Mm.
Cheerios box gets down to like 3 crumbles,
Right,
right?
right.
Toss it, get a fresh new box, snack
Okay.
on those pieces, and replace with a fresh full box. So, you know, a hallway that could be making sure, you know, the floors are swept really
Right.
well, making sure the artwork is exciting and it makes you happy. Making sure it's well
It's
lit.
elevated. Yeah. I love
Hmm.
that's great. Great tips. Great tips. That's interesting because the room below us was a workout and now it's a bedroom. And I have to think, am I sleeping better now? Yes, I am.
Ooh, that's interesting. I love that.
Is that interesting? Thank you for coming on today.
Well, here's something else fun that I've
Yes,
been on a
please.
kick about because people are always asking, "Oh, can I feng shui my car?" Yes, you can. And here's the
Yes,
fun
you
part.
can. Tell me now.
So when you think about that centermost area of your
Sure.
home and then you apply it to the centermost area of your car,
Right.
where is that?
It's
That's the
my
center
right.
console,
Yeah, the center
right?
console.
And what do most people have in their center console?
Junk.
Yes, ma'am.
Junk.
So that's
Clean
your
it
cue.
out.
Clean it out. Spend 20 minutes this weekend. Clean it out. Take everything out. Get rid of the random pennies floating around, the
Right.
receipts, the candy wrappers, and be very intentional. You know,
But what's
find
in
another
there?
place for garbage and other stuff,
Yeah.
but have a healthy snack in there. You know, I always have carry those little packages of nuts.
Yes.
I have that in there. I have pens. I have a couple business cards. I have, you know, a little thing of tissues, like those things that support me during my day
I love
versus
this.
just stuff.
That's really, really, really good piece of advice. I'm gonna be doing that when we are finished here. You think I'm joking and I'm not.
I love it.
So, can you share a specific instance where feng shui significantly transformed a client's space and their overall well-being?
Wow.
And probably all of your, I mean, because you do Reiki. Do you still do yoga?
I
Yoga?
do. Yeah, I still teach
Yeah.
yoga on the side, just one class a week.
You do
Just
distance
something.
space clearing. I mean, you do a
Mhm.
lot. So when you
Yeah.
go into a client's home, I can only imagine you're bringing in an arsenal of tools. So if you can share maybe one instance that you're allowed to share where a client you could see a massive transformation.
Hmm. You know, there's kind of a heavy side of this too, right? Because a lot of people I'm going into work with are struggling with illness, going through
Yes.
divorce and all that. But
Yeah.
then there's a really fun side too, where they're, you know, moving into their dream home. They're starting
Oh,
their dream business. They're starting a family, which is so fun. But
yeah.
I had a very transformative experience for me. And this was probably 8 years ago,
Okay.
perhaps. Um, but it was like, it was this sign that I'm meant to do this, right? So I had a woman call me, and I share about this in my podcast.
Sure.
So I'm happy to share with you guys. I had a woman call me and requested a consultation. I'm like, okay, great. And I didn't really know what I was in for. And
Mm,
I arrived at her home and I walked in and I could just feel it. I didn't know what was happening. I knew it was going to be big.
yeah.
And I always request before we sit down and talk, just give me a quick walkthrough, just so I can like let you know,
Sure.
absorb the energy, see what I see the
Right.
colors, the patterns, and how you're living, right? And then we sat down at the dining table and she sits across from me and she looks at my eyes and says, Lisa, I am dying. I need your help setting up my home so my kids and my husband can go on living once I'm gone. I know. And there was a moment like my jaw was like, really?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, what an honor to be able to
Right.
do this. And then I'm like, okay, the universe put us
Of
together.
course.
You know, I get to do this and I get to help her and her family. It was just like I have goosies just talking about it.
Yeah.
Um, and I believe she's like a guide, guardian angel that supports me in all my work to this
Part of
day.
your
So
team. I love that
yes.
you did
And
that.
so we went in and really set up, we had to invest in a few things, right? So she needed some new carpeting, some new furniture, but we did it with the intention
Right.
of creating grounding for her family. Because
Oh,
they knew it was going to be a rough year. So, I mean, she
sure.
had bought several rounds of cancer and was done fighting and just wanted to enjoy her time with her kids. And
Yeah.
so we really set up a space to be grounding and supportive and also
Sure.
healing for her family when they were ready, when they were, I don't know if you're ever done grieving your mother, but
Yeah.
the loss of your mother, but we wanted to be able to help them move on, right? They
Right.
were going off to college and all kinds of things. So being able to do this was transformative for me, and I will never forget it.
I love that. That's such a beautiful, like you said, like the fact that she allowed you to be part of her journey. Because there's so much, sometimes I feel like with death, there can be dignity lost. And I do like the fact that that is such a respectful thing, that one, that she wanted to kind of help her family move on and her also to move on.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. So
Oh
you
my
brought it
gosh.
up. You were like, as Rachel segueing into her podcast. Sorry. It's such a deep moment to, hey guys. Sorry. So tell us a little bit about your Feng Shui Living podcast.
Yeah. So I started the podcast a little over a year ago. I did do a name change, but um it is so much fun. My goal, so I came to this like revelation, right,
Yeah,
about 2 years ago because I work with, you know, clients and it's an investment, right? It's an
of course.
investment in their space. But I wanted to create something a free item or
Right.
lower cost items for everybody because I believe every person, I don't care your income level, what you do, anything, every
Yeah.
person deserves a space to support them.
Yes.
So I wanted to have free tools, free tips that like
Mm,
they could listen and implement something tomorrow and their stress level will come down, right?
love
I
that.
just wanted easy things. So it's like under 25 minutes, like here's some tips to implement. And it's just been so much fun. I do a lot of virtual work and it's actually
Yeah.
brought me clients from around the world, which has been so fun getting to work with different people, different cultures, different interests,
Yes.
and different lifestyles. And it's been really great. And it's just been a wonderful opportunity for me to share this with people that maybe wouldn't necessarily listen to a feng shui podcast.
It's true. It's true. I think it's a great idea. Free tips and easy to implement ideas. I think that's wonderful. So that is
Yeah.
the Feng Shui Living podcast. And is that on all major podcast networks?
Yes. And I also have a YouTube channel. So you can watch video and we can,
Nice.
watch video.
Nice. I love that. I love that. Can you
It's
talk
fun.
about your custom energy design consultation and what clients can expect from this comprehensive service?
Yeah. So that kind of is the whole gamut, like the whole
Oh,
thing, right? If you want, because I have
yeah.
clients that like they need it all. They are
Gotcha.
stuck.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll go in and they think they just need the feng shui consultation. I'm like, there's just a lot of stagnant energy in here.
Right,
We
right,
need
right.
to like, and they might be like, but I smudged, a few weeks ago. And I'm like, yeah, we need to go a little deeper. And so that is what my distance space clearings
Nice.
offer. It's a really deep cleansing with also the opportunity to infuse your
Mm,
space with what you want. So I'm always pushing clients to like tell me their goals and dreams and
right.
wishes. And it's funny because I always get, well, I just wanted to feel better. I'm like, no, like I want to know. I'm going to keep pushing you until you give me actual,
Right.
like, I don't care if it's a red convertible. Like, I want to
Tell me
know.
all. Tell me all.
Yes, keep going, and I will push them. Because by infusing your space with this energy,
Mm,
even before we touch on feng shui, just infusing it can be so powerful. And
yes.
I love working when there's kiddos involved, right? Because we'll get kiddos involved, we'll get like cool markers and I'll have them take like um note cards
Oh,
and
I love
what do you want
that.
on there, what do you want in your laughter and game night and lots of mac and
Oh, that's
cheese
so
and
perfect. That's so
but
perfect.
it's such a great energy to infuse the home with.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah,
wonderful. I love
yeah. So
that.
it starts with the space
Yeah.
clearing and then gets into, a full feng shui consultation, which is like a 20-page report where I
Wow.
dissect your home. But what's cool about this is
Yeah.
you can keep this for the future. So
Right.
say your goals or wishes, I mean, oftentimes people will come back and we'll just like kind of regroup,
Right,
right?
right, right.
But you'll still have this information. You'll know,
Yeah.
hey, I'm struggling financially. I got to pull that report out and figure out what areas I focus on, and you have it, which
I
is
love
nice.
that. I like
Yeah.
that. It's almost like when you plot your, your birth chart for astrology. Okay, where am I missing here, guys? Like
Yeah.
what house is
Right.
this planet in? Oh, okay, I
Yes.
see now. Jeez Louise.
So
Why?
yeah. So it's a
And
great service for like the whole thing. You can do bits
yeah,
and pieces. I also offer just an hourly consultation, right? If you
perfect.
are not sure what you want to do, if you want
Sure.
to talk through a few different things,
Hmm.
maybe a paint color, or maybe, hey, how can I shift the energy here? Because I've done
Right.
this and that. So that's what the hourly works great. And I do a ton of virtual work. We can jump
Nice.
on Zoom. I might request pictures or videos and we go from there.
No, I like that you do it virtual because I mean the thing is I can take my phone and walk you around. You're going to be able to
Yeah.
feel the energy regardless of in person
Yeah.
or over the phone. I love that.
Yeah.
Can you with your extensive experience, how do you see the role of holistic design evolving in the future?
Oh, wow. It is the future. It is the future. I mean, I have so many amazing traditional interior designer friends
Yeah.
and people that I respect. And man, they can create some beautiful, beautiful spaces. But I think so many people have been woken up to
Mm,
how the energy feels in their
yes.
space. I mean, I work with people you wouldn't necessarily think of, like financial advisors, accountants who are very analytical. And,
6'5" finance. Sorry, I had a moment.
I love that. But they wouldn't necessarily think I'm going to hire the feng shui lady,
So
but
true.
they
You're right.
do, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just it is the future, and I think younger generations
Yes.
they care about how is that going to affect my body by
True.
picking out this color, by picking out this material, right? By this pattern, how am I going to be impacted by this?
Yeah.
They know it's more than just decorative.
I
So
love
I
that.
see it as the future. And
Yeah.
actually, I have recently started a school.
Wow. Tell us
Uh,
more.
oh my gosh, it's called Elevated Living. So I will
Ooh,
certify other people as feng shui consultants
nice.
if they want to learn feng shui and
Sure.
implement it, whether it's their design business. I work with real estate agents, therapists, life coaches,
Right.
artists,
Right.
anything, because you can really take this work in so many different directions.
Right.
Then I also touch on holistic design trainings
Mhm.
and because when I got into studying holistic design and this holistic view, there was no training. It was so new, right? And I just had to read a
Yeah.
million books, right? About like EMFs and like how to create
Yes.
healthy products and like all that. And it was really overwhelming. So
Yes.
yeah, it's called Elevated Living
I like that.
School of Holistic Design and Feng Shui.
I'm writing that
Um,
down. I love that. I love that. Now, is that an online school?
Online, but then I have a really great, I'm hosting a retreat training this fall. It's booked up, sold out, but I will be doing it again. It's 4 weeks, 4 days online,
Nice.
and then 4 days of a retreat experience on the beach in Florida together. I think I'm a big believer in like that community. When you
Community. It's
train
important.
and work on
Yeah,
something, I
I
mean, the
agree.
women I trained with, one gal's in Alaska and one gal's in New York and
I love
California. We
that.
still all stay in contact
Yes.
years later. And um, so it's a retreat immersive experience, like living together, training,
Right.
and it's really cool. So
That sounds amazing. That sounds
yeah.
amazing. So before I ask you the last question, if anyone is interested in learning more about your services, your podcast, your school, your everything, where's the best place for them to go to?
Go to my website, purelivingwithlisamorton.com. Head over there. You can find links to everything. I have freebies, I have free downloads, all kinds of fun stuff. There's links to the podcast there as
Nice.
well as the school.
I love that. So finally, based on your journey and expertise, what is one piece of advice you would offer our listeners to start harmonizing their space and their lives?
Ooh. Find your authentic you and what you need. There's so many trends, so many styles, so many things. The TV shows with all the design things, but what do you and
Yeah,
your body and your family truly need? And stick to that. That's what's important.
that's such a beautiful piece of advice. Lisa, thank you so much for coming on the Spiritual Spotlight series. It's truly been amazing to connect with you today.
Thank you.